Is it a simple case of, here's £10 billion, ta-da, the problem is solved?
I think by the intimation in your question there, Michelle, no, it's not. I mean, we are not in a good place at the moment. Basically, there's 5.5 million people on the waiting list. 300,000 people have been waiting for more than a year now. Now, money will help, but we also, I think, need some infrastructural change, some change in philosophy to the health service. It's not just a matter of putting money into it. I mean, the health service has done really quite well over the pandemic, really. We haven't had people dying in the streets as we have, for example, in some of the countries that could be mentioned. The health service has been able to cope with the acute situation. I think most people would agree we've done a pretty good job on the vaccination rollout, which of course is health service administered. But this is the trouble with this, is it's had this terrible backlog. All the routine care that would have been done, all the heart care, all the cancer care, all the orthopedic care, all the corrective surgery, all these things just haven't been done. So we've ended up with this huge backlog. Maybe half of the backlog is due to the pandemic, but the other half of the backlog is probably due to structural problems anyway. It's not just money, because this is not just about staff. It's about the whole infrastructure of the health service. I mean, really, we don't have enough hospital floor space. We don't have enough equipment. We don't have enough infrastructure and logistical procedures to run all the facilities that we need to run, as well as the people. And chucking money at this in the short term, you can get more staff in, but that's not going to solve the problems. We need a bit of a more philosophical root and branch approach to solve this. There's two things we need to look at. I think there's the acute problem now, but then we need to look at how we're going to stop this reoccurring in the future.
Yeah, and that's very interesting, actually, because whilst you were talking, I just scribbled down on my pad, root and branch. That's the exact words that I wrote down, because to me, it feels like there's almost an opportunity now, because, I don't know, if I had a bucket and it had a couple of holes in it, I wouldn't just keep chucking the water in. I would try and fix the holes first, maybe even repair the bucket slightly better, and then put the water in, if you agree with my analogy.
Absolutely.
Go on, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was thinking we need, you're absolutely right. We can't just keep pouring more and more water in. We need an honest appraisal of what the health service can afford. Now, all the high-tech and modern treatments and drugs and expensive treatments that are available now, there's no government on earth can afford to provide those for all of its citizens. So I think we need some honest adjudication of what can be done on the health service and what basically can't be done on the health service. We need some immediate criteria as well to deal with the waiting list. So, the people that are in pain, the people whose lives are at immediate risk, the people who are unable to make a living. We need to do that first. But then we need some criteria for adjudicating, yes, the health service should be doing this. No, the health service should not be doing that. These are very contentious issues. That's why I'm not giving specific examples. And as well as that, there's 40 new hospitals coming online now. And we really need more clinical involvement on how these are going to work, because current new hospitals aren't that good to work in. I know I've worked in them. The windows often don't open. They get too hot in summer. They can get too cold in winter. Florence Nightingale sent a report to Queen Victoria in 1863 on how to design hospitals. We know how to do this, but it's often done in a way which is sort of prestigious and looks good, rather than a way which is completely functional. And the amount of times that we just knock the intervening walls down in hospital and actually build them to do what they want to do, rather than what the architect wanted us to do, that could be done to begin with, much more clinical involvement. And I think we need to think about training as well. We need more of a meritocracy in the health service. So there should be ways for healthcare assistants to become nurses when they have the ability. We should have ways for nurses to progress to doing medicine when they have the ability, so that people doing the jobs are the best people to do it. Maybe more apprenticeship schemes, and perhaps less emphasis on the sort of type of academia that's often considered important in the health service. And that could mean reorganising the Nursing and Midwifery Council, for example, or adjusting their criteria.
Dr. Campbell, my final question to you. Let's just assume we live in an ideal world. People are listening to us and they perform this root and branch investigation and review, and they define the new future of the health service. Let me ask you this. One of the things that always irritates me is when people describe the NHS as being free at the point of use. It is not free at the point of use. It is paid for by all of us. Now, we're talking about all of these backlogs and bills, etc. My brief question to you to end with is, do you think it's time that we have to start paying more as taxpayers, maybe an extra penny in the pound, to start funding the future of the NHS briefly?
That's a very difficult political question, but the answer is yes, this is going to be expensive. But I think more importantly in the longer term is the philosophical change, the approach we have to health, the way that health services are delivered, the way that they're localised, the way that people work for the health service full time rather than being contracted in and out, the way that we take a pride in our work, the pride in the service we deliver, and the pride of the cohesiveness of the hospital unit.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.